Om Shanti. Today Baba in the slogan says, if there is any trace of weakness, it will create its progeny and influence you. So, weakness will produce many children and they will all trouble you. That's what the slogan means. Now, I'll just share something with you. So there is this brother and I was talking to him and he said that, I have seen many people who are in Gyan, but they don't practice enough and they are not what they should be. And then I said, okay, but tell me about your experience with Gyan and what Baba has given you. And then he said, oh, Baba has been very kind to me and I have really improved in Gyan and I have become better. And so then I told him, you see, why didn't you, when you came to me, why didn't you begin with this? So you could have begun with, how Baba has made your life better and how Baba has given you the gifts of knowledge and purity and peace, which are very valuable. So why didn't you begin with this? So he was quiet, and then I said, this one thing, looking at defects, this will, and when you look at defects, this will only withhold you from becoming perfect. Because when you look at a defect, that defect becomes part of your awareness. And then your awareness will decide the course of your destiny. So you see that whenever even if you're doing everything right, if you have one small weakness, which might look like a small weakness, and in this case, I'm talking about the weakness of looking at defects, then that one weakness will influence you and will slow down your effort. So Baba has given us Shrimad about everything. And Dadi Nirmal Shanta Maniji, whenever somebody used to go and tell her, this sister has this problem and this brother has this problem, and then Dadi used to listen for the first time and then the second time and then the third time, then fourth time Dadi would say, so by now are you not aware of it? So you have explained to me or reported to me that this one has this problem 4 times. So by now, don't you know they have a problem? And can't we just be aware of it and then conduct our business, So this one thing that, and Baba tells us that whenever you are in a sangathan, in a group, then you must know that everybody will be different from everybody else. And we all have weaknesses, we all have strengths, and we won't have the same weaknesses or same strengths. And if you go by the rule that whatever is like me is right and whatever is unlike me is wrong. So, we have this simple rule, what is right, whatever is like me. And what is wrong, whatever is unlike me. then you will always keep looking at defects. And in that looking at defects, we are not following one Srimad, which Baba says that you stick to being you. Doesn't matter what the situation, doesn't matter who the person in front of you. You know yourself, you know your parent, and you behave according to who you are and whose child you are. As simple as that. And if we try to justify our weakness, anything that you shelter will grow. So when we try to justify our weaknesses by saying that, this is not a weakness and people should correct themselves, and why should I stop looking at defects? And it's not looking at defect, it's just looking at the right thing or trying to make it right. But Baba says no. Baba says if you are not right within yourself, you cannot make anything right outside of you. So even one small weakness, which apparently looks like a small weakness, which is looking at defects in others, this one weakness will also lead to so many things. Then complaint will start, criticism will start, then ego-based vision will start. This is a wrong person, and this is a person who doesn't deserve respect, and this and that. And then slowly, gradually, you will create a karmic destiny which will lead you to not the path which you came for. Yes. And then, so there are many weaknesses which we could think about today. And so another weakness, going into expansion. Baba says, just look at the essence of everything, and you're going into expansion. So let's take one simple example. So when you meet somebody, they will speak and behave according to their sanskar. But you don't have to discuss their sanskars. You have to discuss the sar with them. Yes. So they might say that I'm a very big bhagat and I go to several temples and I observe fasts and I'm this and I'm that and I follow this guru and this and that. But what is your job? You just tell them that you are a soul. And even when they are trying to discuss where they come from, right now they're in a different place within themselves. So they will try to talk about that. But your topic is, or your work there is to tweak them, to coming to a sense. So, and what happens is their sanskars start triggering our sanskars. Somebody talks about music, you have started talking like a classical singer yourself. So you didn't go for that. So you went to discuss who they are and who they belong to and what is their purpose with them, and you stick to that. Why are you going into expansion? Yes. And then, and I tell you there was this one brother, and it's very interesting. He went to his boss to do seva. Okay, and then his boss was into this trading and financial markets and this and that, and he started discussing that, and his boss didn't become a BK, but now he has started share trading. So, because he got so influenced by the boss. So whenever they sat he couldn't do his thing, and his boss started talking about all that, of the material world, and then he got influenced. So these are weaknesses, and we must discern what weaknesses we have, because in the beginning a weakness looks harmless, but slowly, gradually, they will just engulf your whole spiritual life. So, just this one thing, going into expansion and not taking care of remaining essential is very important. So, there are very small weaknesses. I'm not talking about lust, anger, ego, attachment, greed, also. Those are big ones. But even tiny things, they can just rob you of your fortune. Yes, talking more than necessary, going into unnecessary details, and then allowing those details to influence your awareness. Yeah, or this thing about expansion, you sit on the internet, you keep reading rubbish, you keep watching rubbish, and all this is a habit of going into expansion. And I'll tell you one thing. So, there is this sister, and she's very self aware, and she once shared with me, sister, what I have discovered is with this spiritual practice, I have a lot of space within me. So I've become aware that there is a lot of space inside. So earlier there was so much clutter and there was no free space inside, but now I'm aware that there is space. And the challenge is to fill that space with elevated, thoughts and material and stuff. Because when there is space, there is always this tendency to go into expansion because you want to fill that space. So when you discard what's not necessary, then you also have to take care to fill it with the right thing. And that's why Baba says you are a Karam yogi. Only yoga, not possible, because when you are a yogi, you will have a lot of mind space that's free. And then filling it with the right stuff is very important. So I have talked about two weaknesses which look very ordinary, but they are not ordinary. So every one of us has to make an attempt to just discern what my weakness is. And one small weakness can also affect my destiny. And I have to be very careful about it and check and change. And one formula that I have always used to overcome a weakness is soul consciousness. So, you remind yourself that I don't care about whatever is outside. My first priority is me. And I have to become a deity. So don't allow that morality inside of you to trick you into, believing that you are concerned about another person's or the world's development, and that is why you are spoiling your state of mind. So that's how morality works. So you just tell yourself, no, let me focus on myself. Let me first get my state of mind right. Doesn't matter if somebody is not progressing or not doing or not doing this or that. Let me first come to a place where I am a peaceful, pure being. And this will help you, soul consciousness, and then taking help from Baba and coming to a place of your original purity will help you overcome the weakness. And everyone must look inside and see what weakness I have. Okay, so this is there. And then Baba today says that you have to be merciful, and I am merciful. Yes, so Baba says that, and it's very interesting. Baba says that even great kings bow down at the feet of the idols of Lakshmi and Narayan. However, they are not purifiers, they are not merciful. Mercy is felt for someone who is suffering. Only the one Father is merciful. Only the Father comes and makes those with stone intellects into those with divine intellects. You are now becoming deities. Yes, and do you have appreciation for Baba's job? So look at the look at the look at how many children he has, and then look at the condition of every child, and then how much of mercy he has, what big heart he has to give his time and attention and love and sustenance and everything to each child, and make him move his stone intellect into a divine intellect. It is huge. And there is this one lady, and she was with a big agency, a government agency, which did conflict management. And she once told me that she was doing this conflict management in case of this Kashmir issue resolution, and on behalf of the government. And then she said, according to me, I have been instrumental in avoiding many wars. So, if those negotiations had not taken place, then probably there could have been possibilities of wars. But I have not figured out a way how to convince another person that I avoided a war. So I don't get funds and support. And she said that, how do you convince someone that if you didn't do this, this could have happened? And although people say prevention is better than cure, people are willing to pay for cure, not for prevention. So prevention is a very big area, she told me. And I don't know how prevention gets funded. So she said, I work for prevention and it's very difficult to find funding for that. And then I told her, just think about elevation, which is, not even preventing what could have happened, but sowing the seeds of the possibility of what is possible, what great and good is possible, and then motivating people and to do that and become a part of that. So she said that's impossible. So, making another person look beyond themselves and looking at what they could become or what the world could become, and then motivating them or giving them the power, the strength, the purity, the love that they need. And she said, how could you even think of this? So I said, I didn't think of this, and no human can think of this. So God does that task. So, God comes, and I remember when the first time I was told that you are a deity, I couldn't help smiling. So I said, so I said, and what else do you want to tell me today? This is quite bizarre. So I think the chapter gets over here. So you, even, telling somebody that you are a deity is such a big step. And look at the mercy God has. And you know what mercy does? Mercy is the only instrument which can keep up hope and effort and consistent, investing into something. So when you're very merciful, you can do all of that. So this keeping up hope despite no return. Yes, keeping up the faith that yes, it is possible, or making consistent effort, even if the other party is not cooperating with you. That's a very big act of mercy. And look at how Baba, Baba has come for us. He's doing everything for our good. And then it looks like we are having mercy on Baba. So, we try to also tell Baba, okay, I woke up at Amrit Vela and I didn't have a good experience, so I will not do it tomorrow. Okay, and you better give me a good experience, otherwise, I'm not waking up tomorrow. As if we are waking up for him or we are listening to Murli for him. And just look at how Baba does everything for us and also expresses gratitude to us. So, so this is mercy. And I think that when you are, and Baba today talks about being a spiritual social worker. So I think that when you are a physical social worker, which is you are giving away, clothes or food or other stuff, then at least, people appreciate it because they know the relevance of physical support. So that can be done in a very ego-based manner because you are getting something in return of it. There is a recognition, there is appreciation. But when you are doing this spiritual effort, when you're doing this spiritual social service, then you will not be greeted well. There'll be no appreciation. If you send a message 4 times, they will block you. And if you tell them to take a spiritual course, they will tell you that you have nothing to do, but we have a job, so please let us do our job. Don't disturb us. So we need a lot of compassion and humility to do it. And you cannot sustain spiritual seva without becoming like Baba. And that's why Baba says that, and I have figured out in this whole journey that doing something without ego is very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. And in the beginning, when you do seva also, it is very ego-based. And I don't know how but drama supports it at that time. And then slowly, gradually, you figure out that, figure out what really seva is. And then you start doing that seva, and it takes time because spiritual seva is not like physical seva. Yes, and it cannot be ego-based. That's the beautiful thing. And in this whole life, whatever we do is ego-based, attachment-based, greed-based. The return of lust is there. So it's very difficult, and we need mercy to do that. And Baba says, when you love Baba, when you allow Baba to enter your heart and color you with his company, then probably you reach a place where you are interested in doing spiritual seva. And even if somebody appreciates what you did, it takes a long time, maybe 15 years, 20 years later, somebody will tell you that, yes, Baba has changed my life. But earlier, it's always about how much effort we have to make and how difficult it is. And then, inspiring people and keeping up your spiritual stage so clean and so high that you are able to influence them is an act of mercy. And I think the biggest act of mercy is paying attention to keeping yourself so clean that Baba can work through you. And Baba says that Lakshmi and Narayan are not merciful. They don't do this seva. Baba does it, and Baba teaches we children to do it. And Baba says that you children have to become like me. So, giving away your time, your thought, your money for spiritual seva is not small. And because people don't do it, we have never seen anybody do it. Yes, and people donate to NGOs who do physical seva, but people don't understand spiritual seva. People don't understand how it is so important for a soul to recognize God and connect with Him, to go back to its purity and peace and spiritual love state. So a soul has to be really merciful and like Baba to do this seva. So this is there. And then Baba today says that people go to the jungles for peace, but peace is your original religion. And I always think about this thing that Baba says, that peace is your original religion. And I think that, only when you are bodiless, you can actually feel peace. Whenever there is even a little attachment with the body, you cannot be peaceful. And peace is a state where you let go of every thought of this world. You are not thinking about anything of this world. That's peace. And you can only do that when you are completely in that consciousness that I'm in this world but not of this world. I belong to that world beyond, which is absolutely peaceful. So, peace is an aspect of bodiless stage. And Baba says that you want to go to that world of peace, practice being bodiless. Practice taking out moments when you completely detach from the body and you are just in your home and in complete remembrance of Baba, and nothing of this world has any residue in your mind. And when you are in your original religion, when you are in complete purity, in that state of being a bindu, then you can feel peace. And that's also a preparation to go back home. And Baba says that I give you wings with which you can fly back home. So this knowledge and this art of how to move your awareness to the world beyond, which is called yoga. These are the tools that Baba gives us to give us back our wings to fly back home. So as much as we use the knowledge that I am in this world but not of this world, and I'm just a point. I've got nothing to do with matter. I'm just a star, and that's my quality, and my mind is my thing. It doesn't have to think about anything of this world. And practicing that enough will give you peace here also, and then it'll basically make you ready for the world of peace. And then Baba says, once you go to the world of peace, when you come, you'll come back to the world of happiness. So that is there. And then Baba says, this is the study that makes you Lakshmi and Narayan. And in the Murli today also, I have emphasized it over and over again that study is 4 subjects: knowledge, yoga, dharana, and seva. And you know that in this study, all the 4 subjects are very different from the world. So the world also gives you knowledge, but what knowledge Baba gives you is very different. So knowledge of the truth about you, the truth about this whole world cycle, the truth about your parent, that's the knowledge. And imbibing that knowledge, keeping it in your awareness, makes you Lakshmi and Narayan. Then true yoga. True yoga is yoga with the one who is vibrating at a higher frequency than you. Yes, so don't connect your buddhi with anyone in this world or of this world or anything of this world, because that's tamo pradhan. So Baba says true yoga will pull you up. And then true dharana. So there are so many things that people will tell you, like punctuality, obedience. You know, when you go to an office, they will tell you about obedience and punctuality, and they will tell you about timely completion of work. But Baba says, nobody tells you that purity is important. So Baba teaches us what matters most. So Baba says, I teach you the importance of purity. That's the main dharana. And I also tell you how to come to that, because if you don't connect your buddhi with the pure, you cannot even have an idea of purity. So Baba says, I'm the ocean of purity, and look at me, how I can do everything and still be so detached because I'm pure. So that's my quality, and you are my child, you are like me. So Baba gives us the knowledge and the power of purity. And then Baba teaches us this seva, which is spiritual seva, which nobody can teach you, because obviously nobody is in a spiritual stage, so they cannot teach you how to serve the soul, because they are not spiritually aware themselves. So Baba says, these are the 4 things which when you pay attention to, then you will be able to change from a human to a divine. And although we hear about true knowledge, yoga, dharana, and seva every day, everybody has to check for themselves whether really we imbibe it. Because again, as Baba said yesterday, the one who will do it will receive the reward of it. Yes, so this is today's Murli, and now we'll offer bhog to sweet Baba. And there are many children who have sent their love and contribution for today's bhog with a lot of love, and I'll take all their remembrances to Baba, and we'll all go together, offer bhog, wait for 2 minutes, and I'll direct you to the other room. Om Shanti.